and then we start the show.
Right.
Okay.
We are live. All the lives went off without a hitch.
Unlike last week.
Let me double check the sound again. Okay, the sound is good. Camera's good. Yeah. Everything is good. So we are ready for a podcast tonight.
Let's go in here after Facebook and hit these share buttons real quick and make sure we...
I just got a notification.
It looks even better on camera, Remy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
I like it.
Good job, man.
Damn.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna forget. You know how I be forgetting to go back and forth between the cameras.
Just focus on the main camera, and then every now and then, I would say only focus on changing it if I'm talking or something. I wouldn't worry about going back and forth too much.
Right.
What is this? Is this like some jazz loopy music?
Yeah, it's a song. I bought a lot of these intros
Mm-hmm.
or this music that I can use anywhere without being
Flagged.
Yeah.
I just want to know why does Ice Cube melt so fast
Oh, that was the
without me touching the glass.
that was the method one.
Yeah.
So that's distilled water. So that's probably why.
You know that 20 grand
Makes it better cube.
is hot.
Yeah, but 20 grand is dope because you don't really need a mixer or nothing. You
Exactly.
just drink it
This is
straight.
my first time having. It's been a long time since I've had 20 grand.
All the flavors are pretty smooth.
Hey, Method Heads, man, y'all coming in for the nice episode. We appreciate you. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the share button. Share it wherever you can. Make sure you grab your drink, whatever you're drinking on tonight. We're going to give y'all a couple more minutes to come on in here, and then we're going to kick this thing off like we always do.
It's gonna be a good time.
I'm feeling good about this episode, man. I feel good about every episode, but I'm feeling really good. I think it's a good topic in general. I think it's one of those topics that can easily flow.
And who doesn't have an opinion about red flags and green flags?
100%.
Literally everybody.
What was it last year? They had like a little trend going on where it was talking about all the red flags.
Did they?
People was posting goofy shit like.
It's crazy, the topic, because I feel like it also leads to a lot of people being able to call other people toxic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we love that.
Everybody's a little toxic, though.
At least a little bit.
I guess it depends on. I think certain people can make you toxic.
They can bring out the worst in
You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm toxic. But if you piss me the fuck off,
right,
then I can show you some toxic ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think we all have that capability, but that's what makes. If you can't be inherently have good character if you're never challenged. It's in those challenges if you choose to like rise above the shit and not be petty.
Yeah.
And
in
we
general, I try not to be petty, but I think everybody has the capability of having toxic traits just because we're human beings and people can push our buttons.
Speaking of toxic traits, we're talking about triggers in the 4th episode this month.
That's the 4th one?
Mm-hmm.
That's similar, but not the same.
Yeah.
I am sharing this to many groups I can possibly can that don't need approval to be shared. So that's what I'm doing right now on my
Tampa
phone.
Talent? Or
No.
Tampa.
Right.
What is that group?
My Black Tampa?
Yeah.
I'll do it now. Ooh, I know I saw it somewhere. There it
What's
is.
up, folks? If y'all in the comments, let us know y'all here. We getting started real soon.
Do you see my comment? I said, hey, with hearts. You don't see it?
Appreciate y'all for coming through.
Do you see my comment? I'm not up there.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, it's delayed.
I commented a while ago. See?
No.
They
It's
are
on the-
delayed some.
It's on the whitelist.
Interesting.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. We got people in here, ain't that?
Maybe because it's on your page.
They're like 3 minutes delayed though, so
Oh, okay. Then maybe it'll pop up in a minute.
yeah, it's 3 minutes delayed. There's,
That's pretty cool.
what's that?
Since we're live, it says live next to the logo on Facebook. That's pretty cool.
Very nice. It pops up like that when you're on Instagram too. The little
Yeah.
live. Are we live on Instagram? Are you guys streaming on Instagram?
No, it doesn't have a way to set up on Instagram.
Uh,
All right, man. I think it's time to do a podcast. How y'all feeling? You want to do it?
I'm ready to do a podcast.
Man, let's
I
do
think
it.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do a podcast, y'all. Let's do a podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Take a seat and put your feet up. We gon' meet up. Sit with me and sip some tea with Remy Mulatto. Give me bottles of Hennessy and Moscato. They had enough already, but there's plenty to follow. I stay poetic, but Jay poetic, remaining effective. Conversation getting heavy, staying respected, playing the record, maintaining collective. Saying what you think, it ain't no place for rejecting. I claim it, I meant it. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. So tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.
Tip top.
Welcome to our Method Podcast. I'm Jay Noetic.
I'm Remy Mulatto.
And I'm Selena C.
This season, that shit on our
And
minds,
shit to talk
And shit that needs to be said.
and the best way to talk that shit
is to have mostly everybody talking honestly.
over
Over
drinks.
drinks.
Cheers
Hey.
to that, man. Hey, if it's your first time here, remember to hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, and turn on those notifications so that you can get notified when we drop a new episode. Hey, it's time for a method mood, man.
Mm.
What's your mood
Let's
this
do
week?
it.
Bad week, good week, or a great week?
I'm actually having a pretty good week.
Good week.
Yeah, why you having a good week?
Thank you. So I started a new job not too long ago,
Yeah.
and we do things in sprints, if you will. Like there's like a period of time where we grind through something, and after that time is over, we review, talk about it, and then we start new shit.
Yeah.
So this particular sprint has been very good for me because I've done a lot of hard shit, and I managed to figure all of it out and like move forward. So we're doing sprint review tomorrow, and I'm actually really excited to do it.
You put in a lot of work to get there,
I
man.
did, yeah. So
Well, it's
I'm having a
good to see
week.
that you are semi excited about work. Last year was the period where you weren't like upset or bothered by work, but you weren't the happiest
I
about
wasn't
it.
vibing with going to work. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
vibing with the job that I had. So I'm feeling a lot better these days.
That's good.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Bad week, good week, great week.
Just a good week. I wouldn't say that it's a great week. I mean, it's my birthday week, so probably should be a great week.
Hey,
Maybe
Birthday
towards the
week.
end of the week, it'll be great.
when's your birthday?
Friday.
Friday. You went out of town, ain't you?
I am.
Where you going?
Arizona.
Arizona. Why Arizona?
I lived there for 20 years.
That's all.
I
Arizona.
got friends
Sometimes
there.
you gotta go
Friends.
Whoa.
What's in Arizona? Just your friends?
Why does yours sound different than mine? That's
I don't know. Maybe I gotta
That's
change
new.
the settings.
that's new.
You said just friends?
Yeah. Friends, family.
How young you turning?
Hmm?
How young are you turning?
Oh God, I'm old. I'm turning 48.
I know. Oh, hey, you don't look 48. That's a good thing. So that's
I know
amazing.
Hillary said I look like a vampire, so I appreciate that.
My- That's what's up, man. Well, happy early birthday. I'm sure I'm gonna see you before then. Man, that's 2 days from now. Today's Wednesday.
no, you
Damn.
probably won't see me before then, but
No, I probably won't.
maybe next week.
Well, I think I'll
Well,
see you
Here,
next
you
week.
know.
Hey,
Maybe
this
next
is happy birthday right
Hey,
here.
man.
If we don't see you,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy early birthday. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do at least twice, right?
That's a lot. That's a lot, man. We are not the same, yep, brother.
Mm. So my
That's
week has
funny.
been I've had a good week, man. I booked me a trip.
I saw
Finalized.
that.
I'm going to That was Atlanta.
Yeah,
That Atlanta deal was $56 round trip.
I know.
Really?
So tempting to
For
book.
the end of
On
this,
Spirit.
yeah, end of this month. But I booked we're going to Puerto Rico next month. I've never gone to Puerto Rico,
You'll love it.
and so I'm excited about doing that. It's just like a little small little thing,
Right
little
on.
weekend getaway, man. I'm having a good week, so no complaints. Hey, we hope y'all are having a good week as well. Let us know you're having a good week, bad week, or great week. Let's get into what we call a method movie. So a method movie, method heads, y'all should already know by now that I am going to play a movie clip that you can only hear the audio to. These two are going against one another, and they're going against you, and you are going against them. If you're watching this in the post edits on Spotify or YouTube, you will see the video clip. All right. So I think this week's one is kind of easy. Last week, both of them kind of knew it. Selena couldn't get the words. She couldn't put them together. She was like Brooklyn something and vampire something, and Remy knew what it was. But so y'all ready?
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to move this over because I think Selena's a cheater. She's a cheater. She's a cheater.
I'm not. I'm
Don't cheat,
sneaky, but I
Selena.
ain't a cheater.
I've heard that before. What movie is this?
See, what we're actually trying to do here is we're trying to get a feel for how people spend their day at work. So if you would you walk us through a typical day for you? Yeah, great.
I know what this is.
Well, I generally come in at least
Exactly what
15
this
minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour.
For the record, I've only seen this movie once.
Space out?
You know what it is, Selena?
Yeah.
I don't.
I just stare at my desk, but it looks like I'm working.
I don't know
I
who
do
that
that
Facebook
for,
user is, but
probably
yes,
another
that
hour
is
after
correct.
lunch, too.
Facebook
I'd say in a
user.
It
given
is.
week,
It is
I
Office
probably only do
Space.
about
It is
15
Office
minutes of real
Space.
actual,
So
you know,
Office Space. Congratulations. Remy knew what it was. He gave me y'all opportunity to speak your mind before he says
business
anything.
work and indulges.
So Office Space came out in 1999. I think I've only seen it like twice myself. I think it's one of those movies. It's like a cult classic after the
Definitely.
fact.
Definitely.
You know,
For anybody who don't like their job, that's a great, especially if you work in an office.
especially if you
It's a
work in
great
office. I
movie.
think that's most of us, right?
I don't
Yeah.
know that I've ever seen it.
Well, you should. It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's actually
Listen,
pretty funny.
There's a scene in that movie that I promise you will laugh out loud at. Like,
It's a
aside
couple
from
scenes.
the whole movie is pretty good, but there's one scene that's just so laugh out loud funny.
I may watch it.
So it came out in 1999, y'all. Where were you living in 1999?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Come up some. Say it.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
I was in high school somewhere in Michigan.
I was getting ready to graduate high school. I was a senior back in Virginia. Well, Tappahannock, Virginia, for those who do not know.
Tappahannock, Virginia.
T-A-P-P.
You know, he went to-
A-N-N-O-C-K.
Jay went to school with Chris Brown.
I did.
Did you really?
But he was way younger than I was, though. That's how one claim to fame is Chris Brown. So 1999, the budget for this movie was $10 million. What do you think they made?
$10 million.
It probably was a really funny. You said it was a funny movie.
hmm
I would probably imagine it probably made like 20 or 30 million.
That's high hopes. High hopes. They made $12 million.
Well, dang.
They
Yeah.
just
Like then you asked, it wasn't even worth being made.
Yeah. That's how you know it's when a movie is a cult classic. That means it didn't do well in theaters at
Yeah.
all. Comparably, like people liked the
Compared.
movie, but they didn't see it when it was, when it dropped. So.
And I imagine they probably didn't even break even. That's like a rounded up number. Like the budget is 10 million, but they probably paid the actors and everyone else a little bit more than what we are aware of,
Right.
So IMDb gave it 7.6 out of 10. I don't know if I would give it that high of a score, but maybe a 7. So things that happened in 1999. Hurricane Floyd hit the East Coast.
Goddamn Floyd.
It was a category 4. I remember that because Richmond flooded like motherfuckers.
Mm.
Yeah, we didn't have flood walls at that time back up in downtown Shockoe Bottom. in Richmond, and it flooded so bad. That was my first hurricane party. I had never been to a hurricane party in my life, and then we had one there. And then, unfortunately, Columbine High School massacre happened in
I
1999.
definitely remember that.
So that was the first mass murder shooting, right?
The first one that was like so publicized like that,
Yeah. And then,
I'd say school shooting. Like, I don't know if there were any school shootings before that.
That was the first time I think we saw footage
I think
of like people walking through an actual school with guns.
Yeah,
And it was a different type of just terror.
because the internet had just started popping off too.
Yeah.
Everybody in my school was freaked out because I went to a school full of niggas just like that, just ready, just waiting.
Yeah, it was quite an eye opener. And who would have thought that in 1999, most of us probably thinking it's a one-off thing. Look how many we had.
And
since
that was the
then.
beginning of a fucking wave.
It was the beginning, a sad beginning.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, congratulations, whoever the Facebook user is. We appreciate you.
We
You're not
appreciate
getting no
you.
hand clap because you didn't give us permission to see your name.
You tell us who you are, we'll give you a
Tell us who
hand
you
clap.
are. Tell us who you are. Tell us who you are. Hey, Remy, Selena, let's get into a Method Weekly.
Let's get into a Method Weekly.
So this week, there's been a lot of chatter about Sierra's outfit that she wore to the after party
Yeah.
with her
She was
husband.
Damn
And-
near necklace.
What do y'all think about it? If that was your wife, would you be comfortable with her being almost nearly naked in front of the world?
Go ahead, Remy. I'll let you go ahead and mansplain this one a little bit. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Go ahead.
I feel like so first of all, their relationship I think is built on like he's not gonna tell her what to do. And I don't think she would even entertain a dude that would try to tell her what to do even under those circumstances. You know what I mean? So I think I think in that kind of thing, the kind of thing that I do as as somebody in a relationship is like, if that's something you want to do, well, I'm just gonna try to support you on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because ultimately, I don't want to be a barrier to your freedom. You know what I mean? Like that's not really my job to be a barrier to your freedom. And if you're with somebody as like Sierra, that's not to say that dressing naked to award shows is what she does, but that's part of like her brand a little bit.
I mean, she's sexy as fuck.
She's a sexy woman.
That's not a part of her brand. I think the sexiness is, but not the nakedness.
Not
Not as much as she was. I think the world were shocked because they have this air with their relationship, almost like it's based on God and
but see, I think that's the problem, though.
But if that's how you want to create your image, don't get upset when people get outraged.
That's how Russell creates his image.
Correct.
Sierra ain't never come out and say that's her image. She supports his image, right? But I don't see her as like the type is like ever said, yeah, I'm a holier than thou kind of person.
No, I don't think she's holier than thou. I think she's projected this image like, yo, I left Future and all this life behind for this man who's giving me this certain type of life.
Yeah.
And now it looks like you're that girl that was with Future.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, like I don't try my best not, I don't want to police a woman's body.
Yeah.
I don't want to police what she's comfortable with. I do think personally there are some things that you do differently once you're in a relationship, but we're talking about a regular ass relationship.
Right.
They are celebrities. She's a superstar. She's in the hip hop community. We will never know what it's like for them to, whatever their rules are, that's on them. Right. I personally don't have an issue with what she wore, because there's been plenty of other women who have wore provocative stuff, and when a black woman does it, why is it a big deal? I don't understand it.
I think personally, I feel like black women were so overly sexualized, and then there are images like this. How do we then combat that? Because we're also adding to it. We're not taking away, we're adding to it. So if I showed up somewhere wearing pasties on my boobs and a thong and basically a sheer curtain, and I want people to take me seriously and have conversations with me, how are they going to do that in a professional atmosphere? Just because there are other women that does it doesn't mean that you have to participate in it.
But there's also the other side of the perspective of the coin. There's women out there who are applauding her because now they have the confidence to do and feel comfortable to wear what they want, regardless of what other people are going to think. So I think we are thinking about it from a perspective of like, oh man, like she shouldn't do this. But I think there are women out there that's like, fuck yeah, like I get it. I don't, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Could you date a man who
Nope.
out there
side naked?
like
Nope.
cock is showing, like dick
Nope.
is showing, and
Nope.
dick print showing and everything?
Absolutely not. And I don't think it's about policing your spouse or mate. Like if you're with somebody, you have the right to say, yo, I don't feel comfortable with that outfit.
Okay,
like,
so here's
that's gonna put heat on me too.
So here's
and
a
you know you're
scenario.
gonna get
Here's a
attacked.
scenario. This is something that I think has been going around in circles before. I think we've had the conversation. You're at home. Let's say you are in a relationship.
Mm,
You got a man.
mm,
You and your man live together, right? He has his homeboys over,
mm.
and you normally wear whatever you want. You come out in boy shorts and a wife beater.
Oh,
Like, is that a? Is
that's
that
disrespect.
you said that's disrespect.
To me, that's disrespectful. I need to be mindful that he has company the same way that if I love and respect the person that I'm with and all of my girlfriends are there, you better not walk out here in a thong or some booty shorts
But shouldn't you
or
be-
or
shouldn't you
showing
be
your
able to-
print on
shouldn't you
purpose.
be able to wear what you want though, right? It's your house.
You should be able to wear what you want, but you also have to be respectful of the people that you're with. That's a part of just respecting your man.
It's such a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like as a man, you feel like there's only so much you can do because a man will be labeled controlling like that.
For sure.
As soon as you have an opinion about the wrong thing, like that just becomes who she perceives you as.
Yeah.
So, and that's it's not an issue that I deal with. I think a lot of my relationship, but I've been controlling in the past. So now in my relationships, I'm like, well, am I crossing the line? Am I pushing too hard? Am I like? So I try to just be like, all right, whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Yeah.
But,
No, go ahead.
but what if you just off base? Like me as a person, I might be off base. I might want to wear something that's inappropriate. And I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me as my husband, my man, babe.
I mean, that's what I do.
And it's
Yeah.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like,
Right.
you know, I love you, right? That dress is doing a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's doing a lot.
I don't
It's doing a lot.
disagree with anything y'all said. I just think that I personally, at the end of the day, you got to trust your partner. You got to set your own rules and your boundaries. And I just want my woman to know that my woman coming back to me. And so I agree with everything y'all saying, but there are
Exception.
exceptions and there are rules to it. I think when you date someone who likes to show different things, you just have to learn how to adjust your perspective. But anyway, I personally ain't never cared about another man's woman and what they do, but they ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, that's mostly how I feel about it. I'm not really. I don't know.
That's a truthful
Sierra
statement.
doing whatever she
And-
doing.
and
It makes you wonder how he truly feels about it, though.
Because he's quiet. He look
Because here's the
happy.
thing. Because here's the thing about that.
Mm.
So we've seen like Rihanna do this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
But that's she was a single woman or whatever. So when you see like a woman who is in a relationship do something like that, you almost got to think, what the fuck did he do? Like, why is she
Yeah.
mad at him?
Mhm.
Like, because he could have probably had feelings about it, but if she's like, no, I'm doing what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, they beefing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is what it is. What's
It
the
is
second
what
thing
it
you got
is.
on the agenda for weekly?
How y'all feeling about Angela Bassett not winning the Oscar the other day?
Okay.
She looked disappointed.
That's the video clip that is going around everywhere that's viral.
Yeah.
Because Angela Bassett didn't have any reaction to Jamie Lee Curtis winning the Oscar for. So we're talking about Best Supporting Actress in the movie for the Oscars, and it was Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Angela
Unless she was in
Bassett for Wakanda Forever, and Jamie Lee Curtis won. Here's the thing. This is the notes I wrote down. I said, so I think resume to resume, Angela Bassett has had the better career. She's had 107 acting credits, 9 as a producer and 3 as a director. Jamie Lee Curtis has had 84 acting credits, 9 as a producer and 3 as a director. But if you ask me who had the better role in their latest movies, it's not so cut and dry, because I feel like Angela Bassett's role was so much smaller in Wakanda Forever than Jamie Lee Curtis' role in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset that Jamie Lee won it, but people were making it a pretty big deal because I think Angela has been robbed of Oscars before. I think everyone agrees that she should have won one for Tina Turner. Right? That was her, right?
Yep.
So I think as Black culture, we're kind of hoping that she would get it, but I'm not completely upset about it. How do y'all feel about it?
I'm low-key a little upset. But then again, like I do believe that the Oscars aren't necessarily for us,
for Black people.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially like the one that won, the Asian American that won. They were saying that's the first melanated person to win since Halle Berry. That was like over 10 years ago.
What did Viola Davis win? That wasn't the Oscar. That was an American Academy Award. Because she won something, didn't she?
The lead role for like
the
lead woman role or whatever. That was the first time in 10 years. And prior to that, like that's the second time somebody of color has ever won. That's crazy to me.
Oscar's so white. Remy, how you feel about it? About Angela Bassett not reacting or having a blank stare or non-emotional reaction to that?
I think comic book movies don't really win awards like that.
They don't.
So I mean that's one thing you kind of got to consider.
That's very true. That's very true.
Like I don't know if any other actors have won Best Supporting Actor being in comic book movies, but I did think her role was very powerful.
Oh, it was 100% powerful.
I mean, like she stole everything she was in. So I mean, I think that what I saw online was it was something that she was nominated. So like her not winning is like one thing, but it was a big deal that she was even nominated for a comic book movie. So,
I think if she wasn't nominated, people would have looked to the left like, what's really going on?
Right. So it brought attention to it, and now it's like, well, come on, give it to her then.
I mean, and we still did have
it.
There was definitely still some representation there. I can't remember the young lady's name that won the costume award.
And I think, based on, I didn't watch the Oscars. I haven't watched an award show in a very long time at the Heads, right? But based on the clips I've seen, I think when you see that that's being such a run for Oscar winners from that particular movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, you kind of feel like anyone that was a part of that movie was going to win.
Yeah.
Right. And so unfortunately, I think that's just what it was. So
I still haven't seen that movie.
It's a lovely movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things, and I want to watch it, but
it's really good. Have you seen it?
I just canceled.
No, I have not seen it.
Y'all should definitely watch it. I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. But it is out there. It is pretty wild. But if you are a deep thinker, then you're like it.
I did see like the Asian American male that won, and how he was in the movie with he was in what's that movie? Harrison Ford movie. He was in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones.
He was a kid. He was a kid, right?
He was also in the Goonies, I believe.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, that's him. So that's why when he was on stage, he was jumping up and down when Harrison Ford was giving him the award because he hadn't seen him in years.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. I wonder what happened to you.
So we had a Facebook user, whoever you are, said the award was based on a specific role, and I think Jamie deserved it. Angela should have absolutely won for her portrayal of Tina Turner. It's sad to me that people are taking the sunshine away from Jamie's win. Be mad at the lack of representation at the Oscars. Don't drag the actors that won.
I agree with that.
I agree.
With that.
All right, man. Let's get into
what these people came to talk about. Method message.
Wow.
heads. We are talking about green flags and red flags. I don't really know how we should kick this off or start it off.
You want to start with red flags or
we
green
can-
flags?
Let's start off with green flags.
Okay.
Is there? I guess I can start with the first question.
Okay.
So I guess actually, what is a green flag? What is a red flag? Like, explain that. Just obviously, we all know what a green flag and red flag is, but let's pretend someone does not know what a green flag is. What is a green flag? What does that mean?
A green flag
Anyone?
to me means something. I'm having an interaction, whether it be a family member, because relationships are across the board, can be anybody. Somebody that draws me in and either makes me want to know more about them or spend more time with them. Things that let my spirit know that it's okay. Like I can proceed forward. I don't have that intuition that's saying,
the
wait
hesitation.
a minute. And sometimes it's not even tangible. It's just a feeling that you have.
Okay. Remy, do you agree with her statement of the
For the
green
most
flag?
part, yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
add to it, or we go to red flag?
Let's do red flags.
Okay, what's a red flag? What would be not a characteristic, but what would you define a red flag as? Someone say, "Oh man, he has some red flags." What does that mean? You'd be like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Toxic traits.
Okay.
I mean, really, like anything that I feel like comes off as toxic, or feels like, I mean, because the idea is, depending on what we're talking about. If we're talking about relationships, then a red flag is essentially anything that will tell you a relationship with this person would not be a good idea.
Okay, I'm with it. I don't disagree at all with either one of y'all definitions of it. Method head, what do you call a red flag? What do you call a green flag?
What's a red flag? What's a green flag?
So we're gonna focus on green flag conversation first. So stick with us. Remember, if you're in here, hit the like button, hit the share button, share that shit. Cause we got shit we gotta talk about. So first question to the table, answer the method heads. When does green flags outweigh the red flags? When does a green flag outweigh the red flag? Does that question make sense?
When the red flag is small and it's not a big red flag.
I
it's
feel
a
like
tiny one.
is it a red flag if it's small? What's a small
That's
red
what I'm
flag?
saying. Like, I don't know if it's a
Sometimes
small.
it'll be small and it'll get bigger over time too.
I think that's probably a yellow flag, right? That's like a caution flag.
Proceed with caution. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you can have somebody, I don't know. You can have somebody really super giving.
For
And
sure.
then find out that that's just a part
Are
of
cheaters.
Yes.
You know? But so I think, when does a green flag outweigh a red flag? Go ahead, Remy. I'll go last.
It's like a trade-off.
Or maybe it can't.
It's like a trade-off. So if you see somebody do something that you feel is very, very toxic, but then I don't know, let's say you feel like you need somebody who is nurturing or whatever. So for you, that's them doing something that seems nurturing is going to be a green flag for you. But then maybe one of your red flags is just like, I don't like smokers or whatever. But then you gotta weigh it. Well,
gotcha.
This is the most nurturing person I've ever met in my life, and she just happens to smoke. So I don't necessarily. I'll deal with that in order to get this. So it really depends on how big the flag is.
I actually did that with one of my exes, because I had so fucking many. But she hid the fact that she was a smoker from me. I didn't know, right?
You don't like it, I'm assuming.
Back then, I didn't really like it because I wasn't really this is like 6 years ago. I wasn't really smoking cigars. I really didn't do weed like that, but she smoked cigarettes. But I didn't know that. But by the time I found out about it, I had already been talking to her every day. We had already spent time. We probably already fucked. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right. So I don't like it, but I'm not going to cut you off completely, but I have some stipulations about it. Right. And so I think that's a good example. It's just like, yeah, this is a red flag. So I would just say the green flag can outweigh the red flag when the person just seems like a dope person.
Yeah.
You just have a great connection with that person, and even though you have like this thing that you used to not like, you just want to give it a chance because maybe you get in your own way.
Yes,
You had a little grin on your face. You had a little memory pop up.
I did.
You want to share with the class?
I'm just thinking just in my mind about, you know, a particular person,
Okay, talk about it.
great person
Mhm.
overall, hits all the boxes, but not necessarily the most romantic person. But those are things that I feel like my soul needs in order to be well-rounded in a relationship. But I feel like communication is key. And if I communicate what I need, you know, sometimes you'll get it. Sometimes you won't get it. Sometimes you just have to live with that disappointment and accept people for who they are. Some people are not apt to change their behaviors.
I think it's hard in the beginning, right? Because in the beginning of dating someone, you are looking for a very specific type of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to cut someone off.
Right.
But like once you're involved in a relationship with someone, I think we all can develop red flags at some point.
I believe that too.
And at that point, it's like, well, I don't want to just cut off my person because of this. We got to try to figure that shit out. So, are there green flags that someone can do that automatically makes you put that person ahead of other people or make you overly commitment prone to them? Are there any green flags that someone can do? Like, what's a top of the line green flag? Where you're like, oh shit, she doing this, or damn, he doing that. Like, that's bae right there.
I think just to have, from a female standpoint, to have intellectual conversation with somebody is super deep for me.
Yeah.
Like if we can vibe and sit and just talk, like
Yeah.
that means we could do anything and be good. But if you can't sit and just have a conversation with somebody, or you sit in the room and there's just like awkward silence for hours, like, nah, I'm good. I don't care how great you are. Because, you know, as a woman, we could sit in a situation with a guy and we could see our whole life. I can see my whole life in 30 seconds just by having dinner with somebody. Be like, no, I don't get somebody else to do it.
Hey, I mean, I get it. It's weird because I have the exact opposite green flag for
Go
that.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, this is not like my top green flag, but I am not a believe it or not, Metalheads, I'm not a big talker. I know, but when you see me out and about, if you really pay attention, I'm never the center of attention. I am on the outskirts. I'm watching people. I'm connecting people.
You're an observer.
I'm an observer. So even in my relationships or in my dating, a green flag for me is like, if you can be next to me and be comfortable in silence, I love it. Like, I'm gonna talk, but I don't like when someone has to fill the space. Right? Sometimes it's okay to just be like, we can be on the beach, just chilling or whatever, or a picnic, and we just vibing together in that moment without having to fill the space.
Yeah.
Someone who's always trying to fill the space, I'm not gonna say it's a red flag to me, but it's a little cautious.
So in the very beginning of a relationship,
That's different, right?
if there's a lots of dead space of not talking,
can't be a lot of dead space.
then there's no me getting to know you because you're just chilling in your silence.
No, I agree. Like, I don't disagree with that.
I think that would probably come.
If we ride
after
in the car together after a date, and you just gotta talk. Sometimes we can just ride and be good.
Yeah.
You know. So go ahead, Remy.
I think y'all are both on to something. I think both of those are very important, and it's a matter of like having to balance it out. You know what I mean? Like you need to be able to communicate with your person. You need to be
100%.
able to engage with them if there's like nothing else to do except engage with them, because
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you end up with or whatever.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, you know, like in your case, especially, like if you're out in the world, you need somebody who can be out in the world with you and not necessarily have to take over you. You know what I mean? Let you be you and be separate and whatever.
For sure.
So it's a balancing act.
It is. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
So what's a green? So she talked. Selena, she said someone who can have an intellectual conversation with it, the automatic panty dropper for her.
Mm.
I'm
No,
saying
I
someone.
didn't say
Oh,
that.
oh, my
Automatic
bad.
That's
My
not what I
bad.
said.
Dropper.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said. Oh,
No.
she said make it moist. Oh, she didn't say that. She said a good conversation.
That's
All
funny.
right, and I said I like someone who can be okay and quiet in this. Remy, what's a green flag for you?
I feel like it's gonna sound strange, but a woman that can cook
Ooh.
I knew you were gonna say
gets
that.
me every time
Is that-
automatically.
Is that how
Just-
Rhonda got you? She
I
cooked?
mean, it helped.
Do you eat a lot?
It helped. No, I feel like I don't eat a lot, but I like. It's not even about necessarily the food. It's about
the
being
act.
taken care
It's
of.
the act. It's the
Like-
act.
like that-
It's the act.
Knowing that somebody's got my back in that way, because I have issues where I'll forget to eat. I'll be too busy doing something, and I'm like, damn, I needed to fucking eat. So if I'm with somebody who they want to nurture, they want to make sure that I'm fed, I won't even have to think about it.
Yeah,
You know,
that is a.
That's a nice characteristic.
I would say that's-
though.
That's definitely a green flag.
so
Go ahead.
so just to kind of expound on that a little bit, I feel like my toxic trait a little bit is that I don't take as good a care of myself. So one of my green flags, one of my big green flags, is somebody who will try to take care of me. So that maybe
I
there's
get
a
it.
correlation.
I
there.
get it. Yeah.
Filling in the gaps. Make
But-
you more balanced.
Yeah. Green. So you can tell me if you agree with this. I just can't. This is my thought. Green flags are like good reviews. We don't see enough of them. It's like we experience good customer service, but we rarely go online and talk about that great customer service. To me, it's the same with green flags. When we experience it, we don't leave the reviews or talk about it to our partner, or to the people who have those green flags. So my question is, are green flags underappreciated?
Not in my world, not in the box that I live in. I try to be very expressive. So if somebody's like, oh, did this for me, I would say, I really enjoy that about you. You're great at this. And I'm going to reaffirm whatever they're doing that's positive, that's adding a great thing in my life. Because I think that's super, super important in a healthy relationship. To constantly, not constantly, but give that person accolades, because
Yeah.
you have to reward them for the great things that they're giving you in the relationship,
Yeah.
and not just give them negativity on the fuck ups.
If you want to be broken up immediately with me, only complain to me about my fuck ups or what I'm not doing. I would absolutely be ready to walk out the door.
Because that's when nagging comes into play.
Well, I mean, at the end of I'm gonna change this. At the beginning of the day, I think we all want to be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you feel like the person does not see the things that you're doing, they never point it out, but they only point out the red flags or the things you're not doing, it's a problem. It's like, well, fuck, did you not see
Yeah.
that I took the trash out for the last 30 days, or I fixed this, or I did that, or it's like, come to me with some. I think we're all kind of.
Voice privacy contents have been updated.
I think we're all kind of like babies to us.
Items on your screen.
You heard something like at our core, we're still kind of kids. Core, right?
Right.
Like what did our parents give us that made us feel better? Oh, baby, you did good. You did good. And
Yeah.
then blah blah blah. We grow up and we still want some form of that,
Absolutely.
you know. So yeah, so are green flags underappreciated?
I think green flags just aren't really talked about. Like,
Yeah.
like people will talk about what they want or whatever. But I think really when you think about what a green flag is, so you kind of got to think about like the dating period and what's happening during that time period. And what is the thing that's like, okay, I'm gonna ask her out again. Or
Why your
the
voice
thing-
sound so deep to
Nigga,
this
this
episode?
is just what I
I feel like he
sound.
sound like a jazz.
Hold on,
this
bro.
is a jazz dude.
I need to get a little deeper. Oh, yeah, I'm joking.
So yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
See, I threw them off. No, you were saying. I don't even know what you're saying either.
Well, whatever it
You were
was, it
saying
was
in the
deep.
dating phase.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
in the
yeah.
dating phase,
See,
you're
women be listening.
yeah.
Women
I
be listening.
appreciate
That's
that.
a
I
green
appreciate
flag.
that. That's a good that's a green flag. It really is. So in the dating phase, you're going on dates and things are happening in this time where you're like, okay, I like that. I'm gonna ask her out again because of that. But nobody's like, you're not gonna tell that person that, and you're not gonna. You might tell somebody that, like, but do we even realize it, or do we even think about it sometimes? Like, what was the thing that made me say I'm gonna ask her out again? So you gotta talk about it.
I don't think on a first date, I don't think I've ever, or after the first date, I don't think I have ever told the woman the things that I appreciated in that conversation.
Why?
Hold on, let me finish. Because I am one of those people who I like to see who you are naturally. And so I don't want you trying to do something just because I said you do it. And so I like to wait a couple dates or even 2 dates, or just, if someone second date and she's been talking to me constantly, she's been texting me or whatnot, at some point I like to say, hey, I appreciate you reaching out. Like, to me, that's really big, that I don't have to be the one to always initiate the conversation. Right? That would absolutely move you from whatever level I think everyone starts off right here, whether you are dating one person or dating 4 or 5 people, right?
All on the same level.
Yeah. And if you are reaching out more than this person is, I'm going to keep focus on you. Right? So I try to wait a couple times, a little bit before I say anything, but I do think
looking for consistency,
right? And so so I think green flags are I think they are appreciated, but I don't know if they are communicated enough. Right? It's like a dog you want to.
I would agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. I try to communicate green flags, but I know that I do things that are positive when I meet people, and I don't think they necessarily. I know that they're receiving them, but they don't always communicate back to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it leaves you feeling like
reciprocation. You mean oh, I see. Hold on. So are you saying you communicate what they're doing well, but they don't give it back to you, or you're doing well? I see what you're saying.
And then it's like then when you don't have that communication from your partner or whoever it is that you're dating, then you start questioning what it is that you're doing. Because I think when you first start,
what do they appreciate about me?
Yeah, because I think when you first start dating somebody and that relationship first starts, you're putting your very best foot forward. But I try to be consistent in who I am as a person when I get to know somebody, so that nothing changes about me. I'm consistent. So in 10 years, I'm still gonna be the same version. At the core, beliefs and things may change, but me at my core is gonna be the same.
Right on.
You got questions, thoughts on green flags?
I did have a question on
what are some other green flags?
Texting back.
Well, everyone texts back. What do you mean?
Do they?
What do you mean?
Do they?
Do you mean texting?
Do they though? I agree with you.
Do you mean texting back in a certain amount of time?
Yes.
Because everyone's going to text back. They may text back 24 hours later.
I hate
or
that.
whatnot.
I can't stand that.
Facebook user over here is very not good at texting back.
People not texting back is a pet peeve of mine, because generally when people text me, I'm very responsive unless I'm waxing a vagina or something.
Right.
And even after I'm done, I'm gonna text you and tell you, hey, I'm at work. I'll hit you back in 2 hours when I get off. It takes 10 seconds to text somebody back.
Yeah. I'm very good at texting back, and it's just natural for me for the most part. Because if I see the notification, I think of a response and then I just send it. There's no thought or even a pattern to it or whatever. Whereas some people, they're just wired differently, so they'll see the message and they'll be like, no, later, or not now, or whatever. And I have those moments, but most of the time, if it's people that I fuck with, I'm gonna text back. If it's somebody that I like or whatever, you know what I mean? So some people just don't like texting back.
So when in regards to texting, I try my best to be very responsive.
You not.
I do. When do you text me?
Late.
No. So here's the thing. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't like when people I fuck with who have my phone number
Text on.
hit me up in the DM.
Don't send me
Like,
a Facebook message.
don't send me a Facebook message. Text me directly. Like, I'm gonna look at my phone for the text message. I'm gonna respond. I don't always respond to Facebook Messenger because sometimes I have it on mute, right? And so I don't always text back fast in Messenger.
Well,
but
shit, send that disclaimer to a motherfucker so they know.
Listen, man, I'm just saying. I do, but if it's someone I'm dating, though, I do text back. I'm a very fast texter backer, right? But I also pay attention to like patterns. I'm a firm believer that you don't start something that you cannot maintain consistency on, right? And so if you text me back immediately and you text me every day, the moment you stop doing it, it's gonna be a problem.
I wouldn't stop doing it. I'm more of a texter only because of what I do. So it's easier for me during the day to text somebody than to call them. So when you have somebody that only deals with phone calls and I'm not readily available by phone, like I might have 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, or I could be in with a client and they have a mask on their face, so I could text you back real quick. You know, so it's much easier for me to text. But I understand, and I'm patient with others that can't necessarily text back. I think in the beginning of our communication, I told you didn't text back. And you said just because you text me, it doesn't require a response in the time frame that you want.
100 motherfucking %.
I was like, how dare you?
I was like, just because you text me don't mean I owe you a response in a certain time.
I was offended.
She was. But I'm just being honest. But if you had text me, at that time, you'd have my phone number. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. But I didn't know her like that. So.
But he sent that response. I was like,
well, that's okay. In my defense, like Cassandra's saying, I feel like that this is off topic. So I'm gonna say it really quickly. In the age of social media, I think people feel entitled to your energy, your space, your response at a very quick pace, and that's not the case, right? Everyone is not entitled to a quick response. But anyway,
what
green
makes
flag.
you not entitled? That might be a red flag for somebody.
It could be.
Like basically you telling me I need to be on a VIP list to get a response back.
Hey, listen, man. I'm just saying, like,
you're not on the right roster, Selena.
100%. Sometimes I look at DM messages, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, no, I'm not. Green flag. What's some other green flag?
Green flag to me is honesty. Honesty and respect. Those are huge.
ESPECT. Honesty and respect. I would say a green flag for me always is someone who is comfortable being vulnerable and communicating that vulnerability. Dang, I really want to see you again. Hey, I really like you. Hey,
that's dope.
Like, I'm like, damn, like this person, like, just let me know where the boy stands. Like, I don't do guessing games. I am bad at like the gray areas of like relationship, of not calling. Like, just tell me what the fuck you want to do. You like me? Yes. Okay, let's go out. You know. So for me, someone who does that is a huge green flag. I think that falls under like communication. Like someone who's a great communicator. And a lot of people think they're great communicators, but they're really not. They're just great communicating how their perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think that falls in line with like emotional intelligence. You know, being able to feel and know your own emotions and being able to properly communicate that to the other person. That's super important.
Struggle with multitasking. Whatever, Facebook user. Tisha Sasha said, don't text me back 24 hours attempting to pick up where I left off previously.
I know.
I'm with
you
you
might
on
be in a
that.
different headspace.
I already moved the fuck on. What are you talking about? Can fuck boys and fuck girls have green flags?
The hell?
That dick and that wop, that's what the green flag is right there.
The wet ass pussy in the day. I think even the worst people can have green flags, because there's going to be some things that we do well or that people do well, but they still are fuck boys and fuck girls, right? There's people who...
Ooh, somebody said, hey, I really like you. Who you talking to?
So Elizabeth is someone I've gone on 2 dates with.
Ooh, and she really like you.
So
He gonna text you back after the show.
it's been good. I appreciate that. So fuck boys and fuck girls. I was saying that I think people can actually be good at something. For example, if your love language was like gifts, right?
Right.
And I do some, or that person does some fucked up shit,
Mhm.
but then in the return of them doing fucked up shit, they bring you a gift, and they bring you more gifts, and you like those gifts, and you feel good about those gifts. Oh, that person really loves me,
Right.
right? That's
Toxic.
a green flag.
That's toxic to me.
I mean, it can
That's
be toxic,
manipulation.
but that's a lot of people do that though. A lot of
Like
people do things to make up for the stuff they've messed up.
Right.
I just need you to say sorry, accept the shit, own
That's
it,
how I am too.
Yeah.
and let's move
What that
forward.
mean?
I
Don't do it
need
again.
remorse to be shown. Just don't just buy me.
Right.
Don't just buy my forgiveness.
I hate that shit.
My
when people try to
forgiveness
do
is
that.
not-
Because
for sale.
because after it happens like the 5th time, you're gonna be like, you know what, you can keep your gifts.
All right, what if it's head though? What if they fuck up and then they bring you?
That's
they give you some
really
head.
toxic.
Head is not a present. I don't.
That's
It's not a present.
So you saying okay? I'm with you. I'm with you.
toxic.
So really quick, here's some other green flags. Y'all can tell me whether or not you agree with them or disagree. So this article is saying that a green flag is they listen well. If you agree or disagree.
Listen is more important than talking.
Facts. Unless I got some shit I need to say. 2, they're comfortable talking about their feelings. I think we kind of touched on that. And I think that's
huge.
I think that's a big one, especially for men. And I don't know if women, I'm generalizing, right? I don't know if women appreciate a man truly who expresses his feelings.
An immature woman won't. But if she's mature in her own feelings and her own emotional progress, then she's going to appreciate a man being vulnerable and being able to speak his truth. And if you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally immature that can't accept that, you probably need to move on. That's a red flag.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know what I mean?
I also feel like a lot of women think they're more emotionally mature than they actually.
That's
But I ain't gonna
probably,
start no argument.
That's probably true too.
Yes, that's why I fuck with you.
That's probably true.
I thought I was about to start an argument. All right.
Like, you're
I
not
think
as
that's
emotionally mature as you think you are, baby girl. Another green flag, they say they have high self-awareness.
Elaborate.
So it says, likewise, it's a green flag if a person demonstrates overall self-awareness, including being aware of their emotions, behaviors, hopes, dreams, fears, and patterns, as well as how their actions may affect others. A person who spends time reflecting on their experiences and
big.
trying to better understand themselves is more likely to be intentional about how they behave in relationships and more likely to be able to identify issues in the relationship as they come up.
Listen, it ain't a whole lot worse in a relationship than trying to tell a motherfucker about themselves and they have no idea what the fuck you talking about.
Believe me,
That's
when that
true.
shit
Like
happens, they know.
dog, you
They
do
know.
this shit all the time and they're like, I don't even know what. You feel like you being gaslit.
Yeah.
Like,
But
so,
that is
that's self-awareness.
that is a form of
No,
gaslighting.
know thyself. I think Bruce Lee or somebody said that.
Not only just know yourself, if you don't know that if you're not aware of what you're doing and your partner or somebody you're dating is letting you know, I do believe that there is a fine line before you accept somebody else's opinion, but you still need to hear it. Even if you don't agree with it, like you need to be open to hearing it and not go straight into attack mode.
Yeah.
Where you're just mad.
Yeah, self-awareness is big. Because for me, like, what falls under self-awareness, and I say this just not only in like in the women I'm dating, but also in my friendships, is like own your shit. And if you have self-awareness, you're gonna be aware when you fucked up, when you're in the wrong. Like, ain't nothing worse than dating somebody or being friends with somebody who can't admit that they were in the wrong.
Right.
Like, and I'm a very forgiving person.
Me
Just
too.
be like, bro, you know what? My bad. I was tripping. I was fucked up. I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have responded that way. I shouldn't have reacted that way. It was a trigger for me. Whatever. I'm like, cool.
Remorse goes a long way. You need self-awareness to be remorseful.
And you gonna fuck up. It's just a matter
You
of
are
time.
going to fuck
That's
up.
just
You are going to
reality.
So another green flag they say is they have empathy.
Oh yeah.
Bruh.
The people that don't, they sociopaths. That shit scare me.
Every other month I post on Facebook, empathy is going to save the world, because
Yes.
to me that's one of the things that human beings are running out of. And if we all had more of it, we wouldn't have as many problems, because we wouldn't just be like, fuck those people.
But that's what social media will tell you is fuck everybody except for yourself. You don't need nobody but you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with this one. It says they know what they want. So
What is it? What's the definition of that?
I guess it's a green flag. It says clarity is always a good thing in dating. But sometimes I think that what we say we want is not always what we need. Right? And so I don't want somebody who always says, well, I want a man, or I want a woman who makes a certain amount of money, or weighs a certain amount of weight, or body weight. It's like, well, maybe that's not what you want. Maybe that's just a characteristic that you have adopted. Maybe give that person an opportunity. I'm just saying, like, sometimes what you want is not what you need.
But isn't it best for them to know what they want so that they can communicate that to you, so you know that, hey,
For
I don't
sure.
meet
Yeah.
these checks, so I need to move
For
on to the
sure.
next person instead of wasting your time.
I think you kind of saying the same thing, that if you don't know what you want, then that's more of a red flag. But if you like genuinely,
Yeah.
truly know,
Stick to what
And
you
that-
want and go
Yeah,
after
I
it
guess
and go
I
get
guess-
it.
I guess I can see that as a green flag. If you say, look, I know I want you to eat this pussy a certain way, and I'm like, all right, baby, like, you know what you want, I'm gonna do it.
I don't think that's what it meant.
Oh, that's not what it
but,
meant.
but we can go with that.
That's part of knowing what you want. All right, man, let's move into red flags. I think it's a lot of people want to have a conversation about red flags.
The red flags to me aren't necessarily toxic traits, though. Just FYI.
You said they are.
They're not necessarily toxic traits. They're just traits that don't mesh well with me
Yeah.
and my flow. It might not be toxic for somebody else. It just might be something that I'm not cool with.
I would agree that red flags can be very personal and based on experiences,
Mhm.
right?
right?
There are women that don't want to date men that are into sports because it takes up too much of their time. That's their thing. That's a red flag for them. Some men don't like to date women with tattoos that have a whole sleeve. So I may not be in their little list or whatever. That's just a personal preference. But it's not
Different
toxic.
strokes for different folks.
So are we saying red flags has to be something toxic?
Well, I think that was Remy's definition at the beginning. He said toxic traits.
That's the easiest way to tell if
Yeah.
it's something that's kind of universally toxic. Like, like, you want to fight the waiter for real? Get out of here.
And if you had a person that had a red flag, at what point do you put yourself in check to say, this was on my list of things that I would not deal with?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a tendency to not walk away from our own boundaries that we set. We have difficulties where we're convincing ourselves to move forward
Yeah.
when we know better. And then you run into, like, 2 months down the road, you're like, I knew I should have just let this one go. Why
Yeah,
waste my time?
I've actually so a red flag for me, again, talking about personal experiences, is that I think won't's a very strong word. I prefer not to date women who are religious
Boom.
at this point in my life. To me, it's a red flag for my life, the way I live my life, right? But I try to be very understanding and give people an opportunity to explain what religion or their belief is and how it impacts their life. Are they going to be comfortable with me not being religious? So I don't necessarily just cut somebody off completely.
Yeah.
But it is like,
I mean,
I don't know.
if their thing is they want somebody to go to church with on Sundays,
You're
you
not
ain't
the one to date. And I
Yeah,
have a
like,
very
nah, I won't
similar. Like, I don't want to date somebody overly religious. I don't mind that you're religious. I just don't want you to be overly religious because in my experience, I hate to categorize groups of people, but in my experience, and that's all I really go on, is those people tend to be overly judgmental of everything.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live in a box. Like, wherever I live is what I define it to be.
For sure.
And I don't want to live in a box that somebody else has created for me because I did that for so long growing up. I have no desire to do it as an adult.
Mm.
I'm gonna give you a hand clap. 'Cause that's how I feel about that shit. Is there a universal red flag? What are some universal red flags, Remy?
I feel like fighting is kind of a red flag. A lot
What
of
kind of
people like
fighting?
that shit.
What kind of
Okay.
fighting?
Like if you're very quick to get physical about some shit
Mm.
in a negative way, then obviously like we're just gonna be throwing hands or somebody's gonna beat somebody's ass. Like it's not gonna go well from here if you showing me this early on that you like to touch in bad ways.
Yeah.
I think
That's
fighting
the
too
big
can
thing.
also go to non physical violence. When someone goes that, like, when they fight and they don't fight fair,
Right.
they fight to basically assassinate your character.
Somebody at this table always say he don't fight fair. I don't know if he's learned or if he's grown, but somebody at the table, and I know it ain't
What we
me.
talking about?
I know it ain't me, man.
I feel like I fight fair.
Do you not? You learn how to fight fair at this point?
Mm-mm.
No,
I'm still growing.
are you a
Jesus is
character
still
in
working on me.
assassination
No,
person?
so listen, I'm not a character assassination person, but
we trying to kill people's characters.
I
and
just
shit.
listen. So there's something this is ingrained, but I've always something in me is like, okay, if somebody threatens me, I have to destroy them.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
must break.
Now I don't carry this as like, okay, this is how I think, but this is primal. This is some primal shit that I carry around that I just deal with every once in a while because it's like so when I'm with my partner, obviously I have to be like, this is my partner. If I destroy them, I'm gonna destroy I'm destroying my life. Like I'm fucking up a lot more than just her.
Yeah.
So I try to fight fair.
I
So
can't stand that.
I would say a universal red flag for it would be like cheating, obviously. Someone who is just
lying.
Dishonesty.
Dishonesty is a huge red flag. Like, why you lying about the simple things?
Especially lying about stupid shit.
Yes. Like I went and picked up food and they gave me a discount for no reason. Like I used to be with somebody and just lied for no reason.
He was practicing.
Just serving up platters of just
practicing. He was like,
BS.
let me
And
make
it's
sure
like,
I can still think on my toes.
It's like, but why, yo?
She asked me a question. It's easier.
Listen, I'm the worst. I am not a liar. And
I ain't got time to be lying to people.
I can't keep track of what I lied about.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just be honest and be like, here's how I feel about something. Here's what's going on. That way I know it's, I said that shit.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
So soon as you lie, you got to figure out, you got to remember that you lied and what you lied about. And you got to be able to go back there. And then she has more follow-up questions. You got to have answers for those. It's too much fucking work to be lying to people.
We grown.
Yeah.
So like, what do you feel
I mean,
like you need to lie
we
about?
all lie a little bit. A little bit.
What would be lying about?
Like, if he asked you, is my dick the biggest?
Okay.
Yes, baby. That's the biggest dick I ever had. You know?
Okay.
Or
Because if you say, nah, that shit's, it ain't.
yeah. Or she might be like, yo, this is the wettest pussy you ever had, right? You got to be like, yeah. Yeah. Shit. I ain't never had wet. Like, I'm swimming in this. Jesus.
So
she said, don't lie. Lie, girl. Lie. Just lie. Otherwise, you're going to be up all night fighting.
You might, you in a
First of
relationship.
all-
That's the end of relationship.
First
right
of
there.
all, fellas, stop asking that question,
Don't ask
period.
that question.
It's stupid.
Don't ask that question.
No, that's not a good question.
Don't say this pussy mine either. Like, just
Don't
stop.
ask whose
Just
is
stop.
it.
Whose is it? Don't do that no more.
Because it's mine. I was born with it. It's not yours. I'm letting you borrow it.
I'm letting you utilize it. You can utilize it for the evening. I'll take it back in the morning.
So I feel like another universal red flag is someone who gets defensive. Like it's immediately defensive when you just try to brought up the conversation or whatever. They just get like defensive. They just like I'm just. Can we not talk about anything?
I think that's a lack of self-awareness. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I think
and accountability.
Yeah.
They lack zero accountability. They don't want to hear about their shit. But I bet you that person that gets super defensive always wants to serve you up shit that you're not doing. But can't. Most people who can dish it out can't take it.
Oh yeah, that's true. What's a red flag that gives you pause, but not necessarily makes you cut someone off because of it? What's a red flag that gives you pause, but not necessarily? So for me, I would say a woman who has kids or young kids.
It gives you pause.
Young kids.
Like
By
young
kids,
under
I mean like under
kids she's still
under
raising.
11. Yeah,
Kids she's still working on.
Because as someone who is single, obviously with no kids, it's a very big life change and life adjustment.
You showing up as stepdad almost right away.
Yeah, and
so you got to think about that.
I'm used to be able to just get up and do whatever I want, and so when you're dating someone who has a younger kids, they can't always do that, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be. It's like, do I want to be part of that lifestyle?
Yeah.
Right. So it's a red flag, but it's not something that necessarily cuts someone off because I'm 42. It's gonna be hard to find someone at this age who does not have kids, right? I don't mind them having kids if they're 14 and up. Typically, a teenager this day and age is very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think so. That's for me. What about y'all? What's a red flag that something that's a red flag, but you don't necessarily cut someone off because of it?
Similarly, it's hard for me to contemplate a man who perhaps is younger than me, that has no children, that has desires to have children, because I'm not on that page.
I got you.
I've already been there, done that. So like I'm good. But
and that's a big one for sure. I've had women not talk to me because it was years ago when I was like 35, 36. They didn't want to date me because I didn't have kids. And at that time, I hadn't ruled out wanting to have kids. So I get it for sure.
Yeah, and it's hard because like you'll think about it in your mind and they'll tell you that it's not an issue, but you see people, especially for me, I've seen women in my age bracket that have dated men who are younger that say it didn't bother them. But then 2 years down the road, that's something that they really desire. So they've wasted 2 years of this person's life. And I feel like we're getting to an age where time is truly priceless and who you spend your time with is so valuable. Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste my time with somebody who is going to want a life that I don't necessarily see myself stepping into.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a life of freedom right now. Like my kids are to the point where they're older.
What if you vibe with that dude though? Like you just got a really dope connection.
If I had a really dope connection where somebody like came in my life and changed my whole perspective and was like, yo, let's just try this, I might consider it. But that's like, I'm talking about like maybe a 5% chance.
Okay, very low percentage.
Like a very low, like he would really have to be like loving on me real tough. Yeah. Where I'm like, you know what? Let's rubbing do the damn thing. Booty. Way more than rubbing on the booty.
Remy, a red flag. I know it's hard for you because you've been engaged and everything. You all in love, but think about when you were not.
Yeah.
What was something that was a red flag that you wouldn't necessarily cut someone off, but you're like,
smoking.
You already mentioned smoking. Give me something else.
Well, smoking anything.
Anything?
Yeah.
Even weed?
I only started smoking weed in 2020. So before that, I definitely had a perception because I've been around, weed heads my whole life.
Me too. Never smoked though. Was not a smoker or edible pop or nothing.
So the weed heads from my childhood, them niggas had wild lives. Like the things I saw them go through, I kind of automatically associated with the fact that with them smoking weed, obviously it goes way before that. But when I see it, I'm like, okay, well, what kind of person am I dealing with? I don't know. But obviously now I'm with somebody who smokes weed and I smoke weed, so things change.
This man went from smoking no weed, method heads, to smoking consistently.
There's something to be said too. I mean, the main, like the root of it is addiction. So for me, I look at the things that I feel like I'm addicted to, and I'd like to move away from those things. So if I'm with somebody who has some of these same problems or whatever, we just gonna be dealing with these problems.
Yeah.
Method
heads. What are some red flags for y'all? I don't do smoking weed or cigarettes. Instant turn off. Men with young kids give me pause. Put that one up there. Men with young kids give me pause. Is that Cassandra going back to Facebook user? How'd she pop in with Cassandra Thomas, then go back to Facebook user? Men with young kids give me pause, and I prefer they don't have it, but depending on the guy, I might give it some time to see. Can age be a red flag?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It can be for me. I feel like I'm not old, but I'm not super young either. Listen, I'm not old. I'm like wine.
Like fine.
I'm definitely getting better. Mentally, I'm getting better.
For sure.
But I think that dating somebody, because I think we talked about this in the whitelist, and I was on some post and we were conversing about it. Dating someone super old doesn't necessarily work for me, because a lot of times they are, I hate stereotypes, but sometimes they can be like couch potatoes, and they can be very non-physical as far as being outdoors, doing things, movement, and they just can't keep up with me, and I just
what's old for you? What's too old for you?
If they're active 50 plus, like I can deal with it. But like,
right.
If you 50 and the only time you get up is
you won't go 10 years older than you?
I have not dated somebody nearly 60.
Really?
Absolutely not.
I dated younger guys.
I dated somebody who was 51 and I was bored out of my mind.
But you're only 47, you said.
Yes.
Huh. So you don't go old, you go young.
If you date somebody older that doesn't work out, doesn't go outside,
his dick don't work no more.
All he do is go to work and come home. Like he may be a good man, but
someone young can do that too, though. Someone young can do that too, though.
Correct.
I think what Selena's trying to say is she got some energy, and she's not out here playing with these old dudes.
Listen,
like you got to keep up.
And sometimes too young.
So age
doesn't necessarily have the emotional intelligence that I need. So it really just depends.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because if you have nothing to converse about, even though I know Jade's talked about, having this great silence, I think that there's moments within a relationship as you develop where you have moments of silence, where you watch movies or be in the same room and read a book together, but you're not together. You're just in the same space, living together. Like that's dope.
I'm a little torn.
But you get to that level.
Because I mesh better with older women. Right, I have a very
that's because you have an
older soul, right? I've always been like that. Most of my immediate friends I hang out with, outside of Remy and a few people, are all older than me. So I tend to connect mentally better with women older than me. I'm 42, so I've dated women in their 50s, 55, 56, 57. I've done it, but I tend to have a better life philosophy about relationships with younger women, because younger women tend to be more open about like this true reciprocation and partnership,
and they're not closed-minded
and in relationships. It's a different perspective versus the older women tend to have a very conservative, traditional perspective about relationships, which is that is not me. So I tend to bump heads a little bit on relationship expectations with older women. So yes, age can be a red flag, I think.
I agree with that statement 100%, because I can talk to somebody a man in their 50s, and all he want to do is, you ain't even got to work. You ain't even got to have your business. Like, I'll just take care of you. Younger guys be like, So you gonna get half the dinner? We be in a restaurant. We splitting this, right? Yeah, I'm good. Like I'm good either way. Like I can go half, or I can straight pay sometimes. Like I don't mind equality in a relationship, but I also feel like once you're together and you live together, the dynamics do change a bit. But all the money is coming into the household. So just this overall perspective of 50-50 versus 80-20 versus
You know what's weird to me is that I don't actually prefer to go on a date. Like I don't prefer like splitting it. Either I'm gonna pay or you're gonna pay. I don't want to split it because then I feel like I don't really want to do it.
It's like telling the waiter, it's like we don't fuck with each other. Just
like we don't really like each other. Like I don't like her, so
just pay for your own shit.
So I am not for like 50-50.
I don't really ask for
either I'm gonna pay or she's gonna pay, and I'm okay with both. I just don't want to pay every fucking time.
Right.
And sometimes I just want you to be like, just offer it. Chances are I'm still gonna
an offer goes a long way. You Yeah, I think I posted
talked about this to another friend. Like, if somebody asks you out on a date, like I asked somebody, "Hey, do you want to go to the movie?" He said, "Yeah." So I bought the tickets, and I was prepared to buy the popcorn, and I was prepared to buy the drinks because I asked him to go with me.
You invited him, yeah.
Like, and I feel like if the invitation, if you invite me somewhere,
for sure.
I almost feel like, you supposed to, you're supposed to pay for it. If I ask you to go somewhere with me, I would cover the check.
Yeah.
I think
that's why it's funny when like young dudes be inviting women out and be taking them to places that they ain't got no business going.
Or they don't have the money for it. Like, why
like
did you
ain't got
go?
the funds to be at this $200 restaurant, and you know she gonna order market value. You put lobster in front of her and you think she's not gonna take it? Come on.
Like be like, hey, sir, wait, Sarah, what's market price? What's market price?
Oh, the market is high right now. It's inflation, boy. you sure you got gas money? All right, good luck.
Like, hey, what you getting? What you order? The lobster. Oh, you don't care about me at all. All right. I mean, I don't. Yeah,
that's
I
don't
take no woman nowhere where I can't afford. So
some do though. Some do, and that's a red flag because that means you're just trying to
impress.
Showboat. I ain't got time for that.
Just
be authentically
she'll
yourself.
Appreciate you. Just showing it.
You know what? Believe it or not, man, and I say this with all honesty, most women don't need all that shit. They don't want all that fancy stuff. It really, it's the simplest things.
Take her on a date at the beach.
As long as you are present and you put some thought into it, most of them don't care about having to go to Ruth Chris or where what's that spot on
we don't care, but we like it.
We all like it.
We like it.
In what ways can red flags change as we get older?
Shit. I think they become more well-rounded. Like in the beginning, in my 20s, it was like, oh, I don't want to date a dude that's broke. And now I'm a little bit different.
You ain't date no dude that's broke. Don't even try. What we're not gonna do on a Method Podcast is tell lies about what we eat.
Mostly everybody talking what over drinks?
Listen, I can date anybody at any space in their life.
I can't.
As long there's requirements there, as long as they have ambition and they're striving for something better. Sometimes you could be friends with somebody and watch them evolve, and you just meet them and you connect and you're like, oh, you're vibing, and you watch them in the cut and they become great. Like when you look at all the stories of like Oprah Winfrey and I forget the lady that wrote like Harry Potter. All these people who didn't even begin their careers until their mid-40s where they blew up. People still have potential. There's still a lot of life there. So if you are ambitious and you have a good follow-through game, sometimes, especially after the pandemic, there's a lot of people in transitions in their career.
Listen.
And don't you think that that's going to be even more so prevalent in the next 2 years with all this AI stuff? A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs.
The world is changing. I've had a lot of women pass on me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago because of the position I was in. But you never know someone's hustle,
right?
Someone's desire to be great or to be better. And so I agree with you. Like, people can get to places where you. What is the hustle? What's the goal?
Correct. I'm not saying
And
date the
so-
girl that work at KFC. I'm saying
You know what? I would actually date the girl that works at KFC as long as she already has a plan of what she's doing. It's already in action, right? But what I won't do is date the woman that works at KFC and just okay.
Where
working
she
at
at?
KFC.
Correct.
Ain't no wrong working
That's
KFC.
content.
It's just
Yeah.
like, come on now, like.
Doing that
So
KFC.
as you move up in life and you do things in life, it's just some things you just don't want to go. Like
You don't want to go backwards. You feel like you're going
Yeah.
backwards, like you backtracking to
the
your
struggle,
20s.
the struggle love. Because I feel like someone who works at KFC. That's not just say KFC.
Jay like, so damn,
Anywhere.
you eating a chicken bowl every day? Like, all right.
At some point, you're gonna feel like you're gonna have to take on all their burdens, right?
But if
That's the-
somebody loves you enough to change your whole entire world, your whole entire
For
thought
sure.
process, and
for
love you
sure,
in all the ways that you want, but they did not have the money that you possess,
I would give up.
would you be willing to walk away? Is that a red flag where you like?
I think I'm a firm believer that someone can be everything you need in other ways except of the main way, and you'd be completely happy, right?
Mhm,
Maybe someone only makes 30,000 a year,
mhm,
but she cooks for you.
right.
She buys you a pair of jeans when your jeans you don't have a pair of jeans, or she does other things. You're like, well, damn, like this is my person. Like
Right.
I don't care about
Absolutely.
none of the other shit that you got going on. You make sure your man is good. You know, so
Mhm.
yeah.
I said that the other day. Like, I would be willing to date somebody that didn't have the money that I would like in life, but every other facet he filled. Because really, does money define him as a person? It doesn't.
It
But-
shouldn't. It
But
shouldn't.
I should be able to help that man to live up to his true potential, because a lot of times people don't necessarily live up to their true potentials,
It's true.
and a woman can help level up a man sometimes and help to increase his focus. That's the whole point. You're supposed to add to somebody's life.
Remy, what were you gonna say, Remy?
You gotta make half what I make or more.
Half?
Ooh.
Half?
Yeah, you gotta make
Ooh.
half what I make or more at the very least.
Half of what you make.
I can
That's
deal
cool.
with
That's
half.
dope though.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's a that's
Yeah.
a compromise in itself.
and you gotta do all that other shit too.
Well, I just feel like
I still want
Yeah.
buy my jeans and cook my meals, please.
He said, "Brought me some chicken."
you know I'm gonna be cooking meals and all
Hook
that other
me
stuff
up.
too. Do you think? Oh, this is gonna be a hard question. And Method, you can answer this question as well. Do you think you ever had? Do you think you personally ever had some red flags that caused people not to like you or want to be with you?
Yes,
What
I was told that I was too nice. That it
is
came
that a
off,
red flag though?
It came off
Saying you're too
unauthentic.
nice. Oh my god, I don't know if that's a red flag though. I think that's somebody who was insecure or something. Because how can you be too nice?
I don't know. I just
Nah, there's a too nice. I don't think she's the too nice that I'm thinking of, but I
Mm.
you know what I'm talking about with like too nice. Like she's
Disingenuous
necessarily
nice?
religious, but she seemed like she religious somehow. You know what I mean? Like when you like the kind of girl who is saying like we gotta wait for marriage. That's a too
Oh.
nice.
Oh.
There's too nice in
Is
there
that,
usually.
is that nice or is that just innocent?
Well, yeah, I'm not talking, but I'm talking about the nice part. Like I feel like the
Mm.
niceness. There's a niceness that goes along with that sometimes. That it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But when
Gotcha.
somebody is
Okay.
too nice and you're never gonna like argue about anything, you're never gonna say anything back. We're never gonna have real conversations. You just
I
wanna.
see. You're
It's more like it comes off as more passive. You know
too
what I mean?
agreeable to everything. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
That's what I'm. But and you don't seem
Okay.
like that to me.
No, I'm opinionated.
Yeah.
I'm opinionated, but I was told I was too nice.
Okay, too nice. Remy, you ever think that you at one point in your life,
Man, I'm full of red flags.
yeah. Well,
mean,
Yeah, you said
what
you
is what is one
controlling.
what is one red flag from your past?
I don't know. I don't know what these women didn't like about me.
You're trying to
Well,
tell me what to do.
What your,
There were times where I was trying to tell them what to do.
your,
There.
with your ex from a while ago, the one that called you a fuck nigga.
Ooh,
Why do you think
I mean,
she called
which
you that?
one?
Oh, multiple women?
Damn.
Listen, I get toxic after a while. It's hard. It's hard to be with me.
Is you petty?
How many
I
did
can
they
be petty.
call
You
you?
can be petty.
I can be petty.
How far does your pettiness go?
It's.
Uh,
I mean, eventually I'll end a relationship. I'm not gonna be at war with somebody, but like, I'll go tit for tat all day.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like you say something, I'll say something back.
So petty. So you being petty is a red flag. You think?
Yeah.
So this is a personality trait that I pride myself on, but I also would say it's probably a red flag, depending on the kind of person that I'm dealing with. I feel like I give the energy that I receive. So if somebody is a fireball, I'm gonna be a fucking fireball to that person. So you kind of want people to be the bigger person, typically, because if nobody's the bigger person, we're both going to jail. Like somebody has to slow this down. This as soon as if you run it hot or you get hot to a place where you're hot, and I get there as well. So I have to be careful who I'm with because of that. Because I know that we'll fucking go to jail. We'll just go to jail tonight.
Oh, see, I'm not about
Listen,
that
let me
life.
tell you something.
I'm really not either. That's why I'm like
I am
trying to stay away.
at the big age that I am at, and the space I am at. I decided a couple years ago that I will no longer always be the bigger person.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it because people, when you are always the bigger person, people tend to take advantage and think that they can just treat you and say whatever you want because you're going to come out with an olive branch and be like, so I will no longer be the bigger person to make the things more comfortable. I'm not going to be uncomfortable. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Okay, so cool. Red flag. So for me, I think I was never the red flag. I'm playing. I would say that in my past, especially in my 20s, I had commitment issues for sure. Like I did not want to commit to
A woman
to a relationship. I didn't know how to be in a relationship. Like in the one that I tried to be in, I was just so immature in the sense of understanding empathy, a different perspective. I remember leaving my girlfriend at that time back in Richmond, leaving her birthday party without saying goodbye because I was uncomfortable in the situation. Like I didn't know nobody. Like I had my own issues, but I should have been like, hey, I should have just sucked it up, sat there and dealt with it. But because I was horrible at communication, I didn't know how to express to my woman at the time, like, I just want to go home. I'm uncomfortable. To this day, I'm still not comfortable in big crowds. But in my 20s, it was really bad. Got up and left. Didn't say bye. Didn't say nothing. Of course, that's gonna be a fucking problem.
That is.
On her birthday, you know what I mean?
Where the fuck he go?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely had. And so anyway, that ended up being like a self-sabotage kind of thing. And I think self-sabotage is something that most people have that is a red flag. You always find reasons to self-sabotage the relationship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I do
Right
that
on.
sometimes because I know I am. I'm definitely passive aggressive. I accept
are you
that.
passive aggressive?
I am.
Oh,
I am.
shit.
See, we were
I've
bump
acknowledged
heads. We were
it.
bump heads.
I've acknowledged it now.
Mm.
In my 40s, I've acknowledged it. I know that I do it. I know that I'm aware of it. But I did try to date somebody who was also passive aggressive.
Oh
Lord.
y'all ain't get
Let me
nothing
tell
done.
you.
Y'all ain't get nothing talked
Let me
about.
tell you, when you have two passive aggressive people, you will have a very silent household.
100%.
Like you will just not talk to each other for days, weeks, months. You don't even see each other. And then, going through my divorce and everything, I realized a lot of self-awareness was happening. Like, yo, I'm passive aggressive. I need to be more vocal with how I feel because sometimes I have a tendency to be so nice that I let people run over me and I don't tell them like, yo, this really bothered me, or why did you do this? Or,
Yeah.
you know, people take advantage of my kindness and it's almost used as a weapon against me. And it's like, yo, but I'm just trying to be a good person,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
and it sucks. And then you hold everything in and then you end up having a fight and everything that you've been feeling for like the past 6 months comes out. I'm definitely more aware now. And I'm sitting in an emotional space where I am trying to communicate a lot more like how I feel
Okay.
instead of walking
Being
around
self-aware.
and
Gotcha.
being in a box, because I think that I've always known that I'm this way. But now that I've really accepted it, I can work on being better
For sure.
at communicating.
Passive aggressive. I'm not even going to talk on it. What up, Sasha? I'm not even going to talk on it, boy, because I get triggered. Are you
passive
triggered.
aggressive at
No,
all?
no.
You're verbal? That's
No.
actually a
Red
really
flag
good
for you.
thing.
It's a huge red flag.
Mm.
Like, I won't even, like, if you have an issue with, if I do something on Sunday
Say what you, yeah,
that bothered you,
Let's talk about it.
like, okay, I get it. Everyone can't talk right then and there, right?
Sometimes
I'll
you
give you, I'll give you 24 hours. I might even give you 48. But if you don't talk to me about it by then, I done move the fuck on.
Right.
And if you bring it up after that, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
So, but that's,
But understand,
that's
most
a whole,
women
that's a whole
have
other conversation.
most women are passive aggressive because they've been emotionally silenced by
Alright,
a partner
I
that
don't
they've
disagree.
been with. So
Right.
it's not just, but you also have to recognize that as a woman,
Gotcha.
as a man or whoever is suffering from it. You have to recognize it and tell yourself, this person is not the last person that I experience this with.
Yeah.
It's okay
For
to be, allow this to be a safe space until it isn't. And then when it isn't, I'll deal with that feeling as it happens.
All right, really quickly. I'm gonna read off some things that this article on insider.com says are red flags, and we're gonna move into a method lesson to end this podcast episode for tonight. Remember, if you're in here right now, we need you to share, like, do whatever it is that we need you to do. If you're watching this and post this on Spotify, YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. We appreciate you. All right, red flag or not? It says constant put downs. Someone who has constant put downs is a red
Yes.
flag.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I would agree. An unwillingness to compromise.
Ooh, that's
Is
a
a red
huge
flag.
one.
Mhm.
Huge one.
If your ass is not willing to compromise, you got to go.
Yep. It's not all about
Your
you.
Yes.
way or no way? All right, I'm
It's
going.
not all about you.
My way or the highway. A tendency to run away from difficult discussions.
Not emotionally mature.
I dated someone like that before. Like she can only express herself when we've been drinking. And I would be like, but I would be so much happier when she would be like, why are you smiling? I'm like, because you were expressing yourself. But she didn't express herself in a negative way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like arguing with me. It was just, she was finally saying some things that she had been thinking
She
about.
relaxed.
But it only came out when she had been drinking.
Right.
When she was,
That liquid courage.
yeah, the liquid courage. Let's see. Controlling behavior and excessive jealousy is a red flag. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
A lack of healthy open communication. I think we agree with that.
Yep.
Ooh, they don't have any friends.
That is definitely if you don't have no friends and you 40 plus, like I'm looking at you a little tilted.
There are so many people who don't have friends.
But
though.
yo, why? What's wrong with you?
I agree, but there are a lot of people who are just socially awkward. They're shy.
They haven't found their
They
tribe.
haven't found their tribe.
But yo, not one. You can't tell me
Well,
you've been here
you
20
have
years
friends,
and you
though.
don't have
I
like
got
one
friends.
friend.
Yeah, you have friends.
Like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have, you can't show me one person that like you. If it's not in the state we live in, like,
Yeah.
and you're not from here, do you have a friend back home?
Or like if all your friends are the opposite sex. Like really?
Yeah.
Like all your friends, like you ain't got one friend of the same sex.
Because
Like,
the
that's a red
chances,
flag, baby girl.
the chances of you meeting all her friends and all her friends are men They probably was
Like,
once in
like,
rotation.
why don't other women
in
fuck
the
with you? Like, why don't other women fuck with you? Like, there's a problem there.
Mm.
Like, why don't other men fuck with you?
Cause you too busy fucking they niggas. That's why.
Let's see. They don't show
That's what they
support.
say.
They don't show support for you or the relationship.
Uh-uh.
I would say for me, this is a big one because I am very big on support. Like, I feel like I will always be your biggest cheerleader. Like, whatever, as long as it's not going to impact my money, I will support you in any endeavor or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like, okay, let's do it, baby. How can I help you? Oh, you got an event? Okay, cool. I'm gonna be there.
Sometimes
Right.
if it's going to affect my pockets now and later, I may do it because it may be a benefit to me to
Yeah.
invest in you.
So someone who does not support me, as someone who is a active person
Mm-hmm.
who tries to do networking events and writing books and podcasting, and if I have an event and you don't show up, I'm gonna feel some kind of way about it.
Me too.
I'm gonna be like, oh,
But take
she
it
don't really
personally.
fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know
We
what I mean?
friends.
Yeah. If anybody should be there, it should be you.
Right.
So yeah. All right,
What about someone who don't apologize?
That's a problem.
nigga. That's why I'm single right now, because I would not date a woman who will not apologize.
Too many of y'all out here.
You dating women that don't want to apologize?
Most of y'all women don't want to apologize.
Man, listen.
Maybe you
Most of
asking
y'all
for the
don't
apology
want-
wrong.
Here's my dick. No, I'm just-
Maybe you
That's
was
one way to
wrong.
ask,
Maybe
boy.
you was wrong.
no, but I think honestly, to God, I feel like women have. I'm generalizing. I understand that not all women are like this,
I feel like I'm finna
Okay.
be offended. Go ahead.
but most women have a difficult time apologizing.
That's not true. That's just the women that you've dated,
No.
which is a
This is
small
not.
pool.
This is not just me. This comes from a lot of men.
I would
A lot
rather
of men.
apologize.
A lot of men feel this way. This is not just Jay Noetic. This is a lot of men that feel this way.
Listen, I'm the type
So
of
it had
woman
to be some truth to it. Just because it's not happening in your life.
because I'm
You
not
know,
that
me
type
know
of
what it
woman.
is? It's not so much that women aren't apologizing; it's that women do not think that they are wrong. More often than
Ooh,
not.
that's deep.
So that you're not gonna apologize if you haven't, you know.
Do y'all see this backdrop right here? Do y'all see how good this looks?
it does look dope.
We've been bringing this season 4, man, of Method Podcast.
He's all blended in.
It looks so good. Good job.
Where you at?
Listen, I think
we at
that
my house. Where you at?
I'm at
he's
your
somewhere
house too.
else.
I'm at your house too.
He's somewhere else.
Stay at the office. He's
But-
like I'm teleworking, right? I'm at the co-work space.
But I think women do apologize, and for me, if there's a disagreement, I will apologize so that we can move on.
Oh,
Because-
so you well, hold on. So you're apologizing to move on, not apologizing because you know you were wrong.
Sometimes, okay.
This is my
Sometimes things are perspective, and if your perspective is your reality, and you think that I did something to hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that you feel hurt because
I'm
it's
sorry,
never.
motherfucker.
Because if you're with somebody and you love them, you care for them,
Yeah.
then I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. That was never my intention
For
when
sure.
I started off
For
doing
sure.
whatever it is that I was doing. But how can we move forward? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on this one subject for the next 2-3 weeks and you're mad or sulking. Like, can we move forward? I'm gonna apologize
You should
so that we can move forward.
you should never invalidate your partner's feelings.
Yeah, because
If
that's
they,
important.
if they come to you and say, "This action made me feel this
Mhm.
way," it is on you to own that because their feelings are valid. Are valid.
Correct.
And just, I did not mean to make you feel that way,
Yep.
right? But anyway,
I always say that feelings need to be validated, but feelings are not facts, but that's your reality.
that part.
So they need to be addressed so the person can move forward.
I was lucky enough to find someone who is willing to apologize, but she's very tricky about how she apologizes. Like she will never apologize in the way that I want her to apologize, but she'll say I'm sorry. Like she'll throw it out there real fast, and I'm like, "What the fuck? When did you apologize?" She's like, "I said I'm sorry 20 minutes ago. The fuck is we still arguing for?" First of all, this is not apologetic energy. Can
Yeah.
we bring it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Why are you hostile right now? Why are you angry?
I thought we were making up.
It's like-
You said you
like-
apologized.
Like I cooked you some food.
Mhm.
That was my apology.
That was my apology. You don't know what you don't see sorry when it come. All right, whatever.
All right, man. So that is green flags and red flags. It's a great topic.
It is.
I would just say don't just cut people off just because you have a certain character or certain things you're looking for that might fall into a red flag category. Give people opportunity because we're all going to change. We're all going to grow and we're all going to not meet certain criteria, but that doesn't mean that we can't get there, right? So,
but I think it's also important to listen to your inner intuition, your inner God, whatever, however you want to describe it. And when it's talking to you, a lot of times our head tries to talk ourselves out of what we're feeling. And I think that's guiding us where we need to go. And go on that first feeling of, you know what, pull back a little bit.
And I think the more red flags you carry, the more red flags you're gonna be willing to take on. So you got to work on yourself.
That's deep.
Ooh,
That's deep.
That's a good one.
Very.
The more red flags you carry, the more red flags you will be willing to take on.
You're gonna be like, well, I ain't shit, so fuck it. I'm gonna deal with this ain't shit. Like whatever. Yeah. No, you gotta work on
You're
that
right.
shit.
I agree because when you have people that are in toxic relationships, generally both of them are toxic.
Right.
Which makes for volatile.
That's a word.
That's called, that relationship is called a cesspool.
They call ain't shit. All right, man. Let's get into what we call method lessons.
Reading is fundamental. Now let's get on with this school thing. You teach.
So this is a segment where we discuss. You turn the sexy music down a little bit.
Oh, my bad.
This is a segment where we discuss something that we learned recently within the last however long since we last been kicking it with y'all. And I'm going to share something that I learned about because, first of all, I love broccolini. And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I feel like more people should know how much I love
broccolini. The small broccoli.
It's the broccoli that does Pilates. That's what it is.
That's not real food, though.
What you mean it's not real food?
In broccoli,
you
like
did some
GMO.
Huh?
GMO isn't broccoli like GMO is like
broccoli or
created.
broccolini? Oh, you saying broccoli isn't
everything.
real?
Yeah,
no,
broccoli.
Broccoli's real. Broccoli's not real?
No, I don't believe so. I believe that it is.
So what's the real size of broccoli?
Is a stepchild.
Yeah.
Broccolini cannot be the real
broccolini
size.
is just thinner or whatever, but there's also another type of broccoli that's thin, I guess. It looks almost like it's a
Let me Google
like
this.
it's greens, but or whatever, but it's called rapini or broccoli rabe. And somebody was telling me about
rapini.
that.
Did you eat some of it?
I haven't had any. Somebody mentioned it when I made my post about how much I love broccolini. So now I'm on the hunt for rapini. I hear it's like a little bitter though, but like greens are kind of bitter.
Okay, I see.
It is a green cruciferous vegetable with the leaves, buds, and stems all being edible. The buds somewhat resemble broccoli, but do not form a large head. Rapini is known for its bitter taste and is particularly associated with Mediterranean cuisine.
Then maybe I've had it because I really like.
I'm sure you've had it.
So what's the regular broccoli called? It's like the regular size broccoli. That's just broccoli, right?
Right.
Broccoli.
So are we saying that broccoli is not the real broccoli?
No, I believe that broccoli was genetically
engineered.
It makes sense though. A lot of the foods that are like everywhere, like the way corn is, all that shit is they've changed it over time.
Because it's not in Dr. Sebi's thing. I've read it in Dr. Sebi's book.
Where he says that, are you a Dr. CB person?
Where he said broccoli wasn't real, and then I ended up researching.
Listen, man, I love some broccoli. I just had a whole package of broccoli for lunch.
You eating genetically modified, engineered food.
That's why my guns are looking big.
Probably.
That's that.
Probably got some steroids in it.
So you like broccolini?
I do like broccolini, and I'm gonna find rapini somewhere. I don't know where I'm gonna get it. I got the broccolini.
I've never even heard of rapini.
Yeah,
I just knew you were gonna do like that word you posted. Honest mirabilis.
Oh, I posted it. See, I didn't know if you saw it.
I thought you were going. I
thought about it, but I forgot and didn't go back to it.
That's funny. Serena.
I don't play tennis.
What's your method? What you learned this week?
Okay, so I learned this week in booking my trip to Arizona that inflation is fucking real. And that Airbnbs are not created the same. I don't know what's going on in Arizona right now, but all the Airbnbs straight trash. They wanted $1,300 to stay in somebody's garage. Like, no, sir, I will not be staying there.
So what'd you do? A hotel?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even the hotels are ridiculous. It's like $400-$500 a night. I'm like,
Damn.
why does Arizona have Vegas prices?
I couldn't find a cheap hotel in Puerto Rico to save my life. I'm like, why is this stay $600 something? I'm like, I'm not doing a hotel
For 2 days?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday. So 3 days basically. Yeah.
Yep, my stay is 3 days, and mostly all the stays were $1,300 was like one of the lowest.
Mm. Yeah, inflation's real.
It is real,
It's just
but the jobs need to catch up to this inflation.
Man, before inflation, I was middle class.
still middle class. Bro.
I feel
It
like
just
I'm
don't feel
falling.
like it. It just don't feel like it.
I feel like I've fallen.
What's that Alicia Keys song? How'd it go? Falling
I
for
keep
you.
on falling
in and out
and out of love.
falling.
with you.
I
So-
used to have the hugest crush on Alicia Keys back in the day.
Okay, so my method lesson is going to sound a little weird. Not
Okay.
weird, a little out there. But I feel like I need to talk about it, y'all.
Come on through.
So I learned this week that online gaming, that grown men will tell other grown men that they have a sexy voice and that they sound handsome as fuck. Oh, what I didn't post on Facebook, he also asked could he eat my ass.
What?
Yes.
Of course he
This
did.
isn't,
What?
Yes.
this
'Cause
isn't
tell him
just
what
a
you want.
random grown man. This is a random.
So I'm playing Call of Duty. All right. For those who do not know, there's a new feature in Call of Duty called proximity chat. Proximity chat, when you turn it on, anyone who is in their proximity of your space in the game, you can hear them on the mic. So we're towards the end of the game. I turn my mic, the proximity chat on, and I hear this guy. I see this guy across the map, and I'm shooting him. He's shooting me. I'm like, all of a sudden he was like, bruh, like, hold on. We ain't gotta do this. I was like, man, look, I won't shoot you if you won't shoot me. And out of the blue, he was like, hey man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He said, you sound handsome as fuck. I was like, okay. He was like, what kind of mic you got over there, man? What you playing on? I'm on PS5. He was like, bro, damn, you sound good. I was like, so now I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm just like, bro, I'm just trying to play the game. He was like, hey,
Now I'm gonna shoot you.
he was like, can we get together? I was like, no, we're not doing that. Can we just
What?
play? He was like, can I eat your ass? I was like,
Oh my goodness.
I said, bro, I'm not doing
They
that.
got propositions on Call of Duty. Nowhere is safe.
He was like, you never let nobody eat your ass before? I was like, yes, I haven't let someone eat my ass before. Not my homie though. He was like, well, we ain't.
Hey, not a nigga I'm playing Call of Duty with.
He was like, well, technically we just met, so I ain't really your homie.
Jay's like, take me on a date first,
I
goddamn it.
was
You
like,
ain't gonna
damn,
ask
bro,
me over
like,
Call of
so
Duty.
I'm ready to like mute my mic, right? But we're working well together. He's killing the people over there. I'm killing the people over there.
Jay's like, I might have to let this man eat my ass. he got my back. Shit.
And then he comes up, he was like, well, my girl over here too. She think you sound sexy as fuck too. What you trying to do? You single? I was like,
Oh
what the fuck is
damn.
happening? What is happening in the Call of Duty community, man? It
That's
was hilarious.
hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Wow.
But so then at the end, he was like, it ended up being just him and I at the end because he killed his people, I killed my people. He was like, hey, you want a fist fight for the dub? I'm like, all right, cool. So we dropped my guns, we started boxing. He was like, hey, good game, and I won. But it was just weird as fuck though. It was so weird. I was like, what is happening? Can I turn this proximity chat off, please? So that was my method lesson where I learned that men will openly ask other men to eat your ass and tell you that you have a handsome voice.
That is so random.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's better than calling a nigga.
I mean,
They call you nigga all the time on
Oh
online
yeah,
gaming.
that's
I mean,
very prevalent.
it's cool that you were a good sport about it. There's many people that would.
You know
not.
what? When you're comfortable in your own sexuality, it don't really matter. I mean,
I agree with that.
initially, it was a little uncomfortable. I was like, what is
Like, what the
happening?
fuck?
What is happening? Like, it's not what you expect. But I know I fucking like women, so I don't have to worry about it. And I know he was kind of just trying to be funny.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Especially
he
you got a girl, so he probably was just pressing you.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I learned. What y'all learned this week? All right, man. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Nothing else?
That's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap.
I mean, it's not really something to talk about, but I will mention it. Have you heard about Marlon Wayans' stand-up?
I heard
special?
about it, but I have not seen it though.
I've heard about it too.
So I watched it because somebody was talking about it the other day, and it came out like I think either right after or like the night of Chris Rock's special, and it's all about
I heard it's all about Will Smith
Will,
and Chris.
Jada, and Chris.
Like literally
And
the
that
whole thing.
altercation, the entire thing.
So they
Was
paid
it
this man to
funny?
do a stand-up, and he did the whole thing about Chris Rock and Will Smith.
You gotta watch it.
Is it good?
It's good.
Oh yeah.
People
It's-
said that's what I
best.
heard.
It's the best stand-up he's ever done.
Where do
And
you? So it's worth watching.
It's
Is
worth
it
watching.
commentary mostly, or is it jokes?
It's good.
Oh,
like,
I'm
it's-
gonna go home and
it
watch
is
it.
Marlon
What is it
Wayans.
on? What is it on?
It's on HBO.
HBO.
I'm gonna
It's
go
on
home and
HBO.
watch it.
I'm not gonna say that it's like better than Chris's, but I think it's comparable,
I didn't
and
think
I
Chris's was
I
very
appreciate
good.
it a lot. So yeah, watch that and let me know what y'all think, because
I'll check it out this weekend,
I was
man.
blown away. I thought he did a good job.
Hey man, we hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We have some dope things coming for. What's next week's topic? Do you know what topic it is?
Next week, goddamn, I had it like real. It was like things we can't do no more.
Things we can't do no more.
Because of age,
Yeah.
because of
Gotcha.
Next
That's
week we're
what's
gonna be talking about shit we can't do no more, and the week after that we talking about triggers.
I'm with it, man. So
Yeah.
we got 2 more weeks with Selena C. With
Yes.
Selena C.
Hey.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
so y'all
Damn,
need to
so we
tune
halfway
in,
through it.
subscribe,
Halfway
like,
through,
share,
man.
comment.
Halfway through. They say
I'm gonna miss you.
that the liquor make you talk quicker. We say M is for,
Mostly
E is for,
everybody
T is for,
talking
H is for,
honestly.
O is for,
Over.
D is for.
Drink.
Drinks.
Till next week. Holla.
Staying respected, playing the record, maintaining collective. Saying what you think, it ain't no place for rejection. I claim it, I meant it. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks.